Welcome to today's live stream. Hey, Matt, I saw your comment about catching this on the replay, and thank you so much for that. And for anyone else listening on the replay, thank you so much for listening. If you could, please give this stream a like. It's a huge, huge help to me, and I really appreciate you guys. Okay, so today's topic, we are staying on the theme. Hey, Adam, how's it going? We're staying on the theme of reducing debt liabilities, and that's where we're going to stay. I was about to say and adding assets, but really one thing at a time, right? So, and if you don't have debt, that's awesome. You could probably afford not to listen to this. However, I will say that I did not have debt this time last year. Hey, Stephen, good morning. How are you doing? Well, I guess we're at afternoon now, so I will say good afternoon. Greetings to you. So, along this idea of reducing liabilities, reducing debt, there, for me, comes down to a lot of mindset issues, right? So, again, I'm really aiming to structure this live stream to be conscious of your time and be sort of delivering the goods as we speak. So, I'm going to start out with kind of a quick update, what's going on with me, and where I am in kind of life and money. And then jump into kind of the content portion, the info portion of the video. So after yesterday's live stream where I kind of gave you my full debt confession and what's going on, I feel like for me it was really therapeutic in just sharing that. And I feel like there's tremendous value to kind of being forthcoming with someone, with another, person, human being, about your numbers. And it doesn't have to be public. In fact, it probably shouldn't be public. And it's really important to choose someone you trust, right? But there's such a tremendous benefit to cluing people in. Guys, I may have to hop off to, yes, that works. Never mind. Sorry, this is a working live stream. Okay, so really being honest with your numbers to yourself and another human being. That's kind of a 12-step principle. And again, for anyone who doesn't know, I'm very, very firmly a firm believer and advocate of the 12-step principles. And while it's an anonymous program, I don't speak on behalf of the program. I just say that it's worked for me. It's changed the trajectory of my family for sure. So there's just tremendous benefit in admitting the full gravity of your situation to another human being, and then making amends, right, is another of the steps. So I think while finances again are so personal, I think there's no reason to stigmatize finances and to keep them hidden. Keeping them hidden actually contributes to that negative spiral of shame that leads you to spending, or that leads you to kind of spending beyond your means. So for me, really acknowledging where I am at this point was very beneficial. Also, what helped was looking back at my past journey and what got me to where I am now, and how I've been able to live. Hey, Anthony, frame of mind, awesome to see you. How I've been able to live debt free for 12 years on a low income in a high cost of living area. And that kind of helped me tremendously to say, hey, I have been living this way for the past 12 years. I will return to that place of equilibrium. And when I was getting out of debt back in 2008 to 2010, it took 2.5 years. It did not happen overnight. And I think I'm frustrated because I just want this to be done and over with. And it's going to take time. And I'm hitting that point of being frustrated, but also frustrated that it's not happening sooner, and then throwing my hands up in despair and saying, well, why bother? So for me, that's the psychology that's involved in looking at my own history to say, hey, it's going to take time. And that's the biggest struggle that I have, because I don't want it to take time. I want it to be done yesterday. I wanted this not to have happened, and I wanted I want it fixed yesterday. And that's just not how it happens, and I think that being patient with myself in this adjustment is really important. So that's kind of the number one thing I'm working on right now is patience with myself and with other people. Also, as I'm adjusting to managing not only my expenses, but other people's expenses, I'm gonna have a family of 3. That's another component that I'm bringing in and saying, as far as it depends on me, I am an advocate of living below our means and being responsible in spending. And it's tough when you're responsible for things that are out of your control. I think that's, again, one of the biggest things that I'm learning is so that's thing 2, patience and understanding of things that I can't control. It goes back to the serenity prayer, right? God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. There's some things I can't change. I can't change the past. I cannot change what happened in the past and what I spent in the past. The courage to change the things I can. I can change and strategize on what I spend today. That is what I can change. My spending, my actions, my behavior, my habits, I can change those things. And the wisdom to know the difference. And that's the key. I think though for me, I kind of knowing the difference is fine, but actually taking the steps I need to take, that's a little bit more challenging. So that's a little bit on the psychology of getting rid of debt. And accepting that this is not and not accepting and deciding that this is not going to be the way of life. This is not a way of life. This is a temporary situation, and I think that's probably the biggest, um, challenge that I'm working on at the moment is determining a new way of life within this new way of life. So, moving on to what is that new way of life and what does that look like? What am I doing to give a gift to the future, to give a gift to my future me? That is probably the biggest thing that I'm doing. What am I doing to A, get out of debt, and B, make a better future? So I kind of think of so the analogy of debt. Sylvia, do you think this will be? Oh my gosh, Sylvia, do I think I will be affected by the social pressure to overspend on baby stuff? I do not. That is one thing that I do not. Um, that's not a problem for me. Just because I care very little and sometimes to a detriment about what people think, I'm like, that does not affect me. I think I may give into my own desires to spend more on stuff for myself because that's just the way this has been going in that cycle of um, feeling like everybody else comes first. Like I have to put everybody else first and then wanting to spend some things for myself. I think that's my biggest challenge right now for me. So for me, I'm not really affected by the social pressure to spend on the baby. Um, but I understand that temptation. Anthony agrees, stick to a plan and pay it off, but don't let it restrict your other life goals. You're in the same debt situation. It's so true. And for me, this the other life goals are things like travel and spending time with friends and family. That is a huge one that's just recently come up. Stephen, your household just completed a very major debt reduction milestone this month. Oh, that's awesome. Sticking to our plan and perseverance took about 10 years to complete that goal. That is awesome, Stephen. Congratulations to you guys. That is really, really incredible. I want to celebrate that. That's amazing because milestones are so important and it gives you sort of fuel, right, to move forward each time you celebrate a milestone like that. So congratulations to you. So in terms of a new way of life and temptations, I think my biggest temptation is just to, I don't want to say give in, but to show love through spending. Um, and and then is that a wave goodbye? If you have to jump off, we're gonna miss you, but I hope you can stay put. But or you're acknowledging that same kind of um, challenge to prioritize reducing debt while um, still celebrating life still living life. So when it comes to temptations, my biggest temptation is to show love through spending. And that's love for anyone, for myself, for other people. Um, that's huge because sometimes sometimes that's the most, convenient way to show love is just to throw money at the problem, and that becomes a problem when you don't have a lot of money to throw at the problem, and you just don't have the energy to throw time at the problem, so that's gonna be a temptation. When it comes to a new way of life. Oh, yes, congrats for Steven. Yeah, that's awesome. Yes, very, very cool. Very cool, Steven. To you and your family, because it is a family effort, right? And I think another thing for me in this new way of life is building a compelling vision for the future, which can be tough when you feel sort of stuck by the messes in the past. And the way I kind of have been trying to think about my debt right now is, say you throw a big party. You throw a big party. Yay, Stephen, very cool. When you throw a party, there's a mess left over, right? It's a party, you had an amazing job, an amazing time, it was really, really fun, but there's a mess and someone has to clean that up. And if it's your party and you weren't able to arrange that ahead of time, you have to clean that up. So that's very much where I am at the moment, is in the process of, again, relying on another Dave Ramsey saying, I'm kind of rolling my eyes because I think there's a lot that he leaves out. But Dave Ramsey saying you have to clean up your mess. And I'm like, "Yeah, yes, you do. If you've made a mess, you absolutely have to clean it up." So that's the process that I'm in right now. And looking at the mess relative to the broom I have to clean up the mess, the broom and the mop I have to clean up the mess, it might take a while. So again, that's just kind of where it is. So if I look at my numbers, and let's say I allow myself, so if I have roughly 4 and 25, so I have about $6,500 in credit card debt now. And let's say by the end of the year with expenses and everything, that goes up to 10K. If I were to divide that by 12 months, if I wanted to be out of debt by a year, in a year, it'd be about $833 a month. If I wanted to divide that by 2 years, right, it'd be about $500 a month, which is doable. Um, and if I think back to how it took 2.5 years to get that done when I was doing it back in 2008, and again, it was just for myself, so it was a lot easier to get rid of that just by myself. But thinking it through, it's possible with the right plan and the right strategy, and that is what I am in the middle of doing right now. I think for right now, this is simply maintenance. This is like equilibrium mode and trying to stay balanced for this time in my life right now and to prioritize myself, which is not easy. And let me back that up, because anyone who's in a relationship knows that it's not just about you. And there are periods of give and take, right? There are periods where it's all about the other person, and then there are times when it's all about you. So that is, let's say, continually, um, that's something that I am kind of working on day by day, and having the confidence to say, you know what, it's me time. I'm going to take care of me right now, and I'm going to focus on me. But still, so something I really enjoy in my relationship with my husband is having like little rituals throughout the day where we will touch base that don't cost money, things that we do. That's just kind of a way of connecting. And I feel like maintaining that is really important, and then saying, "Okay, these are the touch points, and then everything else at every other point, I'm gonna take care of me. I'm gonna prioritize myself." And I think especially given this season, that's justified and warranted. So, so we're about halfway through, and I actually have been working on bringing in some on the additional income, the business side of that. So one of the things I'm working on was to increase the affiliate side of my business, and the other was to, well, really, it's just increasing the affiliate side. So I sent an outreach to one potential partner that I'm really hoping works out more of because I love them, not because I see that being a tremendous revenue opportunity. It's not going to be a tremendous revenue opportunity. I just really enjoy this company. But the other one was building out my Amazon storefront. I'm excited for that because I have an Amazon Prime membership. It works great for me. So I am absolutely fine with representing that to other people. So that's another area that I'm working on, is actively growing my income. So I think kind of as that's part of my strategy going forward, that might be that's something I'd love to share along in the process for that. So, let's see what else. Let me see. All right. So we've got 14 people on. Hello, hello. Let me close out the tabs. Let me close out actually all of these tabs dedicated to spending. I was doing something. Sometimes I just do online shopping with my eyes and I just look at things that I want. I save them to a wish list and then I move on. Okay, so working on where's the money coming in? That's kind of it's an ongoing challenge right there. So I guess going back to to what you guys are up to, anyone have any milestones to report? Anything that they're kind of working on or growing? What are you guys up to? What are your goals for this season? What have you recently accomplished? What else? What are you celebrating right now? So that's what you've got. Let us know so we can all celebrate. This is sorry guys, it's kind of becoming kind of a new say whatever. And I realize as I'm talking to you, I'm like, wow, I have a lot of work to do, a lot of work to do. And that's simply where it is for right now. Limes Forever, you just finished using, oh my gosh, that's awesome. You just finished using week one of the 12-week year to accomplish 3 goals you have for the summer. That is incredible. Limes Forever, what are your 3 goals for the summer if you feel comfortable sharing? I love hearing kind of how people break up their um, their goals and how they achieve them because that is key. Whew, sorry guys, I've so we talk about physical goals. I guess that's one. I aim to work out at least 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week. And so far, I mean, I've been doing that just for maybe 2.5 years, for a long time. Um, I was actually not active in high school, but this, um, it was like the end of high school into college. I went to a summer camp and I just met someone there and she's like, "You wanna go for a run?" And I'm like, "Sure, why not?" I avoided the mile like the plague in high school. Oh my gosh, okay, so Limes Forever, your goals are become fluent in Spanish, learn how to drive, and take a teaching certificate test. That is amazing. Very, very cool, and congratulations to you. So, I became more active after I left school, and I would say that hands down, I'm in better shape now than I am. Um than I was previously. Sorry, the reason I'm, like, sitting here is because I can feel I have, like, I think I pulled a muscle in my back, and it's, like, such a small area, but it hurts so bad, and it gets worse as the day goes on, so I'm trying to, like, Google exercises to do to make it better, and there don't seem to be too many. They're like, "Try walking, running, cycling, or swimming." I'm like, "Great, thank you." Not helpful. Anyway, Limes Forever, that's great. That's really cool. So, I would like to get out and get just a 30-minute walk, and then we have a plan today to take, my husband's dad to a park near us and show him around because he's lived in this area for close to 3 years, but has never been to the park. It's really, it's a lovely area, and he used to my father-in-law used to, walk, like, 3 miles a day at a park. This is years ago. Rain or shine, used to do it all the time. So we're excited to do that, but I think I might need to get in my own workout just because. So, um, that's the deal, and I think physically, I'm actually really excited because physically I did make that goal, and the goal was to pass the silly glucose test, which I did, which actually has very little to do with me. Um, it's not completely random because obviously you're, more disposed to diabetes. Wow, Marielle, that's awesome. Oh, Marielle, hello, you're joining live. You're working on making your side hustle job your full-time job. That's incredible. What is your side hustle job? What are you doing? So that was actually a very positive outcome that I had with passing that test. So I'm happy about that, but I'm not taking credit for it. I'm thanking the good Lord because I thought I failed. I totally thought I failed. Thank goodness for the difference between capillary and venous blood. That's the only reason that I passed. So, Marielle, did I already ask that? Marielle, what's your side hustle job? That'd be awesome. We're rooting for you to be able to make your side hustle job your full-time job. So, health also such a big part of mindset. Um, Really, when it comes down to it, you just got to make that coin. that's, that's something that's kind of that is my primary journey at the moment. So we talk about goals for the rest of the day, or yes, for the rest of the day coming into tomorrow. That would be neat. Sylvia, you're semi-retired with a very part-time job with a goal to get another part-time job. Awesome. Very cool, Sylvia. I think my mom's kind of doing the same thing. She is a therapist and has a job, a remote job that she's been working since December, I think, and she enjoys it. She could work as much as she wants. She 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 can work as much as she wants. She just doesn't feel like it. And I'm like, all right, right on, because it can be demanding, right? It can be emotionally taxing. Sylvia, what's your part-time job? What are you doing? And in the back of my head, that's always something I wonder about. Do I want to maybe get more training? What would I go back for? But I think right now, just really working the skills that I have right now and making them the best that I possibly can is what I'm going to focus on. Like, I'm actively not pursuing other opportunities with the intention to focus in on making more with the opportunities I already have. So that is what I'm actively doing. Oh, very cool, Sylvia. Monitor water meter readings. That is very interesting. Yay, Daryl, hello. So good to see you. Um, I would appreciate you watching the live stream. One of my OGs. Really enjoy you guys. So, just as a recap, I talked through psychology of my own personal debt, the new way of life that I have that I'm going to employ to get myself out of debt and back to an equilibrium where I carry no debt. And my biggest temptation along the way, which for me is clearly showing love through spending. Yes, Jesus, for sure. Be able to work 30 hours a week and have enough to live on, that would be pretty cool. Um, my plan again, going back to my plan in this new way of life, and then, oh, Marielle creating, jewelry and handbag accessories, very cool, that's awesome. Um, really appreciate creativity and people that are able to be creative. We hope you can go full time too, that would be awesome. What would you need to do to go full time? Do you have a number that you'd like to generate that would make it possible for you to make that your full-time position? And then we talked about business and kind of what we're doing as far as business goals go. And I was about to set out my own business targets for the rest of today and tomorrow. So I did kind of 1.5 elements, units of outreach for the affiliate side of my business. Oh, Daryl, I wanted to touch on going back to the way of life, the email that you sent. I really appreciated that. I've seen that before, but it's so true. Print out your bank statements and then look at all of your expenses and all of your spending, because your spending shows your priorities, and it 100% does. And it's, for me, I know it's the big three. It's travel, food, and housing. That's it right there. And I know that that's where I'd say 80% of my spending goes to. Travel, food, really just travel and food in the month of June for sure. That's it. Travel being the hotels, all the meals we ate out, snacks, and gas. Um, yeah, so travel and food. And I would say that's just about half of the debt that I have right now. The remaining is stuff from the wedding. Like, okay, I would do a lot differently. I would not have spent as much as I did on vendors. I love the vendors that we had. I just wouldn't have, I didn't really need them. So live and learn. Um, Hindsight is always 2020. And another good program slogan I like is look back, but don't stare. Yeah, Daryl, you have to get a handle on the expenses. It can be rough. And it's kind of a little sobering. I'm like, well, I know where the problem is located. It's simply doing something about it. And for me, I touched on this briefly, the idea of creating a compelling vision going forward, because it's not just me anymore. It's not just my own actions that I have to deal with. It's other people, and kind of, not that that's a problem at all right now in the day to day, but in reducing overall stress around spending, I think that it is kind of important to get everyone on the same page, but really working on creating that vision of what life will be like, um, when we are not in debt, when we are not overspent. That will be that will be a beautiful day. What will that feel like? And I like thinking about that, and I like planning for that, but also building a compelling case that doesn't make anyone feel bad about past spending decisions. So that's the situation that I'm in at the moment, is saying, how do we honor the past and move forward in a better way? Oh, very exciting, Marielle. Yes, your goal is to have wholesale orders with a certain number of retailers, and I bet you're getting close, right? Um, you're getting there. Awesome. That's really, really exciting. Yes, wholesale orders are where it is. Keep us posted. That's very exciting, Marielle. Really sort of pleased and excited for you, and looking forward to seeing your progress there. All right, guys. So we are coming up on the bottom of the hour, and I am going to wrap this up and say to you, so my goals for my business and bringing in income are just continuing to reach out on the affiliate side. So it's going to be to write an article and to build out my Amazon storefront page. So my Amazon recommendation page, because I've got some exciting things to share. So those are my goals for the rest of today going into tomorrow. and I am planning on accomplishing them today. So awesome to hang out with you as always. And if you're listening on the replay once more, thank you so much, and I hope to catch up with you soon. Bye.